In the early 1940s, Italian fighter aviation had a serious problem on its hands. Its main fighters, the Fiat G.50 and the Mach-E C-200, had good maneuverability, but were clearly inferior to the newest aircraft in speed, climb rate, and altitude performance. Some of the issues were alleviated by the modernization to Serie 2 and using licensed copies of the German DB601 engine. But those were only temporary measures that still didn't improve them enough to engage targets at high altitudes now occupied by strategic bombers. Besides, the Italian fighters were mostly armed with machine guns, and that was another point for improvement. In 1941, the defense officials launched a program to create new generation fighters called Serie 5. The cornerstone of the program was the newly acquired license to produce the DB605 engine from Germany. It was much more powerful and promised a significant boost to performance. The leading Italian aircraft manufacturers got down to work. Some of them made the decision to upgrade existing models, but Fiat designers started from scratch. Only a year later, the prototype G.55 Centauro made its maiden flight. It showed excellent handling and climb rate, performing well at high altitudes. The summer of 1943 saw competitive trials between the Italian Serie 5 fighters and the German Messerschmitt and Focke-Wulf aircraft. German pilots praised the G.55 and stated that it was superior to the Gustav at medium to high altitudes, while the Focke-Wulf was inferior in almost every test. The Italian fighter offered especially impressive maneuverability and high-speed handling. When compared to the Mach-E C-205 and the Reggiane 2005, the G.55 was found to be more balanced, simpler, and easier to make, so the officials selected it as the next main fighter. The Luftwaffe even considered a licensed production of the plane to use it as a high-altitude interceptor. The first G.55 planes entered service in the summer of 1943, shortly before the armistice, and took part in the defense of Rome. Pilots gave the new fighter wide appreciation, praising its ability to fight the American P-38, P-47, and the British Spitfire planes. After the armistice, the G.55 production continued in the Republic of Salo. It spent the remainder of the war in the heavily contested skies above northern Italy. Its main missions were intercepting American heavy bombers and counteracting their fighter escorts. Despite its impressive performance, the G.55 failed to put a heavy dent in the course of the war. It got to the front lines too late, when the Allies already had strategic initiative in the air. Fiat facilities were regularly bombed, which slowed down production, so fewer than 300 fighters had been made before the end of the war. The situation was made worse by the constant scarcity of fuel, spare parts, and the inevitable lack of personnel. Still, the G.55 was too good to abandon even after the war. Some surviving and a few newly made fighters were used by the Italian Air Force as trainers. The G.55 earned the fame of a fearsome, effective interceptor that could attack both heavy bombers and the best fighters of its time. The Centauro had small numbers, but its impact left a bright print in the history of Italian aircraft manufacturing.